Hi guys. Oh my god. Hi guys. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for clicking on the link. I really I'm really grateful from the bottom of my heart. I just want to say that my name is Pelma Mapeto and I'm so excited that you could be able to join me on my very first YouTube video slash podcast. So I just want to get right down to it. I was thinking about what I want to do for my first video, if I should do a little get to know me, who my name is, and I decided no, I'm just gonna start doing my podcast and talking about the things that I want to talk about. And if you're watching and you have any questions about me, you can just let me down and I will do a separate video and talk about myself on a separate video. I will, however, as I get to talk about the things that I want to share with you, talk a little bit about myself so that you guys can get an idea of who I am, what I do, and things like that. So, my first video, this is what I'm going to be talking about. Manifest your dream life in 2024. Um, I've been trying to manifest some things in my life, and I have to say that I've done tons of research in terms of making sure that I'm doing the right thing, I'm headed in the right direction. And I got really interested when I was learning a lot about manifestation in terms of what, how and what manifestation is. So based on the research that I've done, I just want to also share a little bit of my own personal experience. I didn't really know what manifestation was when I started manifesting. I had this idea that, I can manifest anything I want as long as I believe in it. And to a large extent, that is very much true. But what I didn't actually know is that, I actually have to put in the work. I just thought, I can just kind of visualize my higher self, show up as that person, and whatever it is that I want, it will kind of manifest into reality. So when I became curious and I started looking for other YouTubers or other people reading a lot of work on manifestation, what it is and how to actually manifest, I realized that I've been doing it wrong. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about manifestation, what manifestation is, how to manifest, and how you can manifest everything you want into reality. So just to talk a little bit about myself in terms of how I used to manifest. I spent my whole of 2023 this year. I moved from South Africa to South Korea. You know, I'll, I go to church, which is part of which is going to be a part of what I'm going to be talking about in terms of manifestation. So when I first got here, I didn't know anybody and I started talking to myself. I thought to myself, I want to have friends. How do I have friends as a foreigner? So I live in a very small island. There aren't really a lot of other foreigners, and I didn't even know anybody. And then that's when I had an idea of why don't you pray about having friends? I'm gonna talk also about how prayer relates or directly correlates to manifestation. And then I thought to myself, why don't you pray to have friends? And that's what I did. I started praying. I started praying to have friends, and I met some very cool and interesting people along the way. I started realizing at that time I wasn't using the word manifest. I was just like, oh, I prayed about, wanting to have friends, and now I have friends. So I didn't really kind of put it into context and be like, this is, manifestation. I thought this is an answered prayer. But even with those friendships, they were never it's very hard to make close friends as a foreigner, at least in my experience. They were not the kind of friendship where I would be like, oh my god, I manifested this. It just seemed to me like, oh my god, I pray to have a friend, I pray to have friends, and then God brought these people into my life and it worked. But then I was also going out, I was putting effort, I was reaching out to people, trying to say, hey, would you want to meet up for lunch, you'd want to meet up for coffee. I was overextending myself to all of these people. And then I got to a point where I started feeling like I want more, And then I was saying I want to have a boyfriend, and then I tried doing the exact same thing. I tried to manifest. I would be praying, when you pray, sometimes you're not really intentional. At least in my experience, it's just more like I want to have a boyfriend, and then I just say it in one sentence in my prayers, and I want to have a boyfriend. And then I don't have a boyfriend, and I'm like, does prayer or does manifestation actually really work? That's when I started doing all this research just to try to understand exactly what I'm not getting right, you know. So at that time I would say I was more just into praying. I wasn't really thinking about it in terms of manifestation, manifesting my dream life and things like that. It's only now that, you know, looking back, I'm like, I wasn't really manifesting. Even in terms of prayer, I wasn't really praying. I was just saying, you know, I want this, and then the universe expecting kind of like everything to stop working and work in my favor. You know, I don't really know what I was doing, but I can confidently say that wasn't necessarily manifestation. So okay, it got to a point where I was like, okay, I really really want this thing to happen in my life. I want to have a boyfriend, I want to have a lot of amazing friends, I want to meet more interesting people, but none of those things were happening. And that's what prompted me to be like, what am I actually doing wrong? And then what I realized was, whilst I was putting good energy into the universe, I wasn't really going out and pursuing the things that I said I wanted. Because to me, manifestation was just saying, I want this. And then some way, somehow expecting the universe to be in alignment with that energy, which is part of manifestation. But that on its own is not enough for you or for me to get what I want. So that's when I started doing all this research, and I learned that, you know, in addition to just saying I want to have this specific thing, I want to have a boyfriend, I want to have amazing friends, I want to be surrounded by all these people, this community of people that love me, I want to have amazing experiences, I want to evolve into this person, I want this, I want that. I started realizing that none of those things will actually manifest or come to life unless I actually go out of my way to pursue all of those things. So what did I do? You know, I started reading in terms of like steps to manifestation. And the first step to manifestation indeed is being able to visualize the highest version of yourself. So with me, it started being like this. I want to have a boyfriend. My two specific goals was, I'm looking for love in my life. I want to find love in my life. Another thing is I'm working out. I'm trying to lose this like a little bit of belly fat. So, but then I wasn't working out. I was just like, oh, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I kind of like assumed I will have like a great body out of nowhere or like whatever out of not working out. But then I started putting in the work, like literally when I started visualizing myself, the first mistake that I made was I just kind of like said, I want to have a good body, I want to lose a bit of like belly fat, you know. Even with like relationship, I'd be like, I want to find love, but I wasn't dating, I wasn't on any dating apps. I was just sending all this energy to the universe, but I wasn't getting anything in return. And later I learned that I'm not getting any of the things that I want, because as much as I'm sending all this positive energy into the universe, I wasn't really doing anything to pursue that. The universe can only do so much, but it's also up to me to kind of like do some of the work. So that's when I realized, like, instead of visualizing myself with this amazing group of friends, with this amazing body, I need to actually visualize myself putting in the work to achieve the things that I actually really want. So what I started doing was, instead of being obsessed, just to talk a little bit about my body, in terms of being obsessed on fixed on, I want to lose belly fat, I want to have ABS and all of those things, I started saying, making little goals, like daily goals, in terms of like, what do I actually do to get there? Okay, cool, I want to have an amazing body. What do I do? I started manifesting all of my big things. I made small steps to kind of like help myself achieve the things that I actually really want. So how do I have an amazing body, or how do I lose belly fat? I went on the internet and I found all the steps, and whilst I visualized the highest version of myself that I wanted to show up as, I also put in the work to attain that version. Each and every single day I wake up in the morning at 11 o'clock, I do my workout for like 30 minutes, even when I don't feel like it. I think that is like the most important part, doing the thing that you have to, even when you don't want to. Because I think I got into this idea of manifestation thinking, you know, I'm just gonna get everything that I want because I say I don't want this. The universe doesn't work like that. You send positive energy, but you have to be able to put in the work. Just saying I want to find love, I want to have amazing friends, and then someone asks you, are you dating? You say no. How are you gonna find love? Where do you spend time? And who do you spend time with? I had so many weekends where I would spend so much of my time at home, and then I'll still be like, oh my god, I don't have friends. I don't have friends because I spend time at home. I'm always indoors, you know. And that's when I realized that I was part of the problem, and I was the reason that I wasn't manifesting anything. I was doing the first step, but I was not putting in the work, which is the most important part. So I started going out more, started going out at cafes, and I've met so many people by just going out alone, you know, hanging out at these beautiful cafes, going to some touristy destination. I've met so many cool people. And even with love, I've been on so many amazing multiple dates. I have an amazing social life. I'm not saying I've manifested my dream boyfriend yet. No, I haven't. What I'm trying to say is that I was stuck at a point where I wasn't happy with my life, and I was in this stage where I felt like I'm manifesting, but I wasn't putting in the work. I was only sending in the energy. So if you're also somewhere trying to manifest, you know, wishing for something, especially now that we're going into the new year, avoid that mistake that I made in 2023. If you have a goal, be clear. What is your goal? How do you achieve that goal? Do not be obsessed with the end goal in terms of, like, say maybe your goal is to lose weight, your goal is to find love, your goal is to have amazing friends, your goal is to travel. Do not only be fixed on the end goal, but focus on the steps along the way. It is the things that you do every day that are gonna lead you, the daily little habit that are gonna take you to your big step. You know, just, you know, dreaming about something, wishing about something is not really gonna make it true. You actually have to put yourself out there and do the work. And of course, you know, anything, whatever you believe you can do, everything that you send your mind to, you can do it. But it's not gonna come just because you want it to. Remember, the most important part of manifestation is, of course, being able to see that version of yourself, whatever that you want to achieve. Anything you want, you can pretty much practically achieve it as long as you put in the work. So do not make the mistake that I made, you know, wishing, daydreaming, and thinking, you know, oh, you know, I can see myself doing this. No, you have to see yourself doing the work. If you want to have, you know, an amazing group of friends, you have to put up with meeting up with multiple people that you may or may not necessarily enjoy their company. And even then, you're gonna have small tiny obstacles along the way. Do not let them deter you from the bigger picture. But the most important thing to remember, if you're new into manifestation, is to remember to put in the work. It is the daily habit of manifestation. It's not something that you do when you feel like it. It's like working out. You don't work out because you feel like it. You do it because you have a goal. How do you achieve that goal? It is the daily habits, the things you do every day. So you don't do it when you feel like it. Put your feelings aside and do the things that like truly matter to you. Focus on the end goal, but remember, you have to do the daily steps. It is the daily steps that are gonna make you achieve your goals. Yeah, that's it for me, talking a little bit about manifestation. That was my first ever YouTube video. If you watched till the end, thank you so much. And again, I just want to say that the video was all over the place. This is my learning journey. I really want to learn and evolve into becoming this like podcaster, or like whatever that I want to become. And if you watch this video till the end, thank you so much for the support. I'm gonna be coming back with another video, which is, I'm hoping to get better and better and better and better and better each and every single time. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye bye.